What's going on, guys? Thank you for joining me today for this little behind the scenes. This photograph is one I took of this guy here. This is the Mezco Storm Shadow. This is definitely one of my favorite, or I should say not one of my favorite. This is definitely my favorite Mezco of the G.I. Joe line so far anyways. I will say I do like the G.I. Joe line, though, from Mezco thus far. I think they've all been really good. And I think there's only one so far they have not put out. We'll see. Hopefully they'll have some more to show at this upcoming San Diego Comic Con. It's coming up here in, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks, something like that. Anyways, so with this photograph, I did really something simple. I've been wanting to shoot that figure for a while. It's been one of those, you ever just get that itch where there's a certain character you want to photograph, and that's kind of how it's been for me. So I finally had to scratch that itch a couple times, actually. But with this one, I just started looking through his accessories, and I had forgotten he came with a bow. So I was like, oh, that's kind of a cool accessory. Let me see if I can find something to do with that. Came with a pose I liked. Really had no idea other than that. The only thing I did know was I did want to do a snowy type scene, which I used just flour for the snow on the ground. And then my falling snow effect, I just do that in Photoshop because I really hate the mess that it makes. I've done practical snow effects before where you just sprinkle the flour, create your own snow effect. And I will say it looks really good when you do that, but it's messy. And then I have to like vacuum off my characters, and I really hate doing that. And it's just so much easier to do in Photoshop. It's quick and a lot less messy. So anyways, I knew I wanted to do a snow scene, and I really had no idea what else I wanted to do. So I kind of started playing around with different photographs for my background on my television screen. And I just ended up going with something simple, and that's the little forest, scene that I did. And that I used, I get people ask about these sometimes, my trees. I've done just real branches that I've cut off before, and so taking straight pieces and use them as trees. And the funny thing is, they don't in in the photographs. They just don't look that good for some reason. I guess you kind of almost need the over exaggerated, lines that you see in the bark of the wood. So, anyways, I made a couple of these guys, and there's YouTube videos out there for this. That's how I found out how to do this. They're very simple, and honestly, they don't look as good in focus. That's why usually I have them out of focus. But all they are is, I don't know if you can see the bottom here. There's some wire here. Go the correct direction. Whoop, there we go. Some wire, right? Take wire, multiple pieces, twist it together, and kind of form your basic shape. Then you go back over it to bulk it up with some tin foil. That's all it is, aluminum foil. Why the hell did we call it tin foil? I mean, it's aluminum, right? Has it ever even been tin? I don't know. Probably not in my lifetime. Anyways, then I just take some, got some clay that air dries, and really just, I cut it into like thicker strips, put it together, kind of smoothed it all out. Then I went over it with I got a little inexpensive, I don't know, clay sculpting kit on Amazon. I use it just to make these lines in the sides of the trees, and then I made little parts that look like roots coming out. And then I just threw some paint on it. Like I said, it doesn't look anything super impressive up close, but when it's a little bit back away from your character, it has a nice blur to it. It looks kind of good. And then the only other thing I do, because I'm sure you noticed there, the top of this guy doesn't really look impressive, obviously. But I tend to not show that in my photographs. And so what I'll do is I like this specific fake foliage. I got this at Hobby Lobby. I've seen a lot of guys that have this one, so I feel like it's probably pretty common at hobby stores that sell that kind of stuff. So I just stick it in the top and usually have it kind of hanging down like this. So that'll be what's actually in the shot, is, part of the foliage. So it gives it that look like, leaves and branches are hanging down. pretty simple. But you know, I've seen other guys do the things with paper towel rolls and the hot glue. I tried one of those once and I got frustrated just dealing with all the hot glue. It took a lot of hot glue just to do one, and I didn't really love the look of it, to be honest. So that's why I kind of look for other options. But anyways, I've gotten way off on a tangent here. So anyways, okay, so here's just a little bit of footage from that scene. And this is footage. I don't know if I've ever actually explained this. This footage I do like this for my setups. I use my probe lens, and then I actually use what's called a motorized slider. So it gives you that super smooth, you know, push in or panning or whatever it is you want to do. Because God knows I'm way too shaky. I can't do that without it. So yeah, I use the probe lens, which allows me to get right up in close to the scene because it's also a macro lens. And then I use my slider to get those nice smooth motions. All right, so let's go ahead and get to the behind the scenes. Hey guys, thank you as always for tuning in. A like and a subscribe would be greatly appreciated, and I will see you on the next one.